Hey there everybody, and welcome back to another one of those Sunday in the garden visits. I thought we'd start in the front yard this week and kind of see what we can see from here. Want to show you a few of the peppers, take a look at the apple tree, and yeah, well, you know, the usual. Take a look at the gardens. Alright, let's get started. We have essentially ravaged these Saskatoon berries. We got to enjoy about a month of fruit production, and now everything that's on these is pretty much dried and it's left for the birds. That's okay, I got a few seeds for these that I planted. I sent a few to Brother Troll, so hopefully he'll get some of those planted and growing. Saskatoon's for everyone. That makes July a month to look forward to, in my opinion, though. Free Saskatoons. Then from a distance here, we'll take a look at the fairy apple tree this time and get a much better look at some of the color forming in some of those little apples. Getting closer to being ready, I think. Gonna have to bring a ladder out and harvest some of these, but I was kind of hoping for slightly larger apples, but I guess these are still an apple crab or a crab apple or whatever they are in that middle space in between apple sizes, but works for me. Lots of stuff you can do with tart apples. Apple turnovers. Maybe I should take a few of these and see if they're ready for apple turnovers. And we'll start taking a look at some of these peppers out front. Here's a couple of the orange habaneros. Got this railroad tie lineup. Used to have like Christmas lights and stuff on it, the previous owners, and I'm putting peppers on it because it gets good light. We might see something out of those. We'll see what the season has to say. Here are a couple of the yellow Trinidad scorpion. So since I've got 6 out of 6 of those that have sprouted, I figured why not drill some holes in the bottom of that peanut butter jug. We'll use the coffee can as sort of a large double cup system. Try and let those grow a little bit. Take them back inside for the winter. And over here we have what's left of the Portuguese hot pepper mix. Pretty much looks like those are probably all the same type of pepper plant to me. But we'll know for sure if we get some fruit set on there. And then we'll know what they are too. Nice bonus. Here we've got those 3 Caribbean heat peppers. The 3 out of 4 that were originally the LED light test. Starting to get little flower buds forming on the top of all of these, so hopefully we'll get to find out what the peppers taste like from these. Very exciting with gifted peppers because you just don't know. Beside that we've got the Serrano pepper. Might just be a shading issue, but this sucker has not been loving life this year. Try again with those next year. If it's still no go, then I'm not going to bother growing those. Little blue's been moved in front of it though because it's working its way inside. As I get more and more of those plant lights, I get more interested to see this under that pinky purple kind of hue. Behind all this we've got the Amaranth. I'm pretty sure this is Amaranth, and I'm pretty sure it's starting to form its little flower grain head, whatever it would technically be called. But the reason that we're growing it, because it looks pretty, it's finally starting to form. Underneath that we've got the Nepalese bell. Again, talking about reasons that we're growing things. Here is little tiny Nepalese bell pepper. That is so cute. And there are quite a few on this plant. So A, I'm really glad that I've got 3 of these going inside for the indoor shrine. And B, I'm really glad that this decided to produce for me. It's fantastic. Nice bushy plant. There's another one back here. See if I can get that. Looks more like a bell than a bell pepper does, that's for sure. Over beside that, the red demon has bushed right out. Lots of flowers. Quite a few little starts on there, so I'm hoping we'll see some red streaking through that plant soon. The ancho pepper beside it here. I did take that one that was growing on there off. It's got a few flowers, a few starts. Nice little visiting dragonfly here. That one is sitting on the Scotch bonnet, which has exploded with growth lately. And I think I have found a few little flower starts on here. No peppers yet, but all things in time. And over here I've got the sweet heat beside it. Look at that, look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. I would love to eat this thing, but I want ripe, mature seeds in there. Then I'm going to eat it. Arr, but there's tons of flower buds on here, so hopefully those will turn into pepper bums. And then eventually peppers. We'll see if we got time. There's that Kung Pao monster beside it. This thing is massive. I love these peppers. Starting to be able to see more and more fruit starts on here. So again, much like the Red Demon, this is going to be amazing with its streaks of red once they start to ripen up. And I think there will be time for this. This is a quicker pepper if I recall correctly. Beside that, we've got the Cherry Bomb, aka the Red Cherry. Got a couple of peppers forming on here. Oh, got a few peppers forming on here. That's nice. A couple of surprises for me there. And we've got the Burpee Lemon Yellow beside it. Put one of those into a garden salsa the other day. It's pretty good, pretty good. Not overly productive, but it does have a lot of starts on it. Beside that, we've got the Sand Dollar Pepper. Oh, I wish this thing would give me some fruit. Even if it's just one, and it's got some good solid seeds, you know. Might be something forming in the middle of that cluster. Hard for me to tell. I've got glare on the viewfinder. Let's hope. And then beside that, we've got the Orange Fugo Pepper that is kind of sprawling more than anything else. Again, still waiting for some color on the first pepper in there. But this should be nice and colorful in a little while once it finally gets going. And heading into the backyard, almost looks like I know what I'm doing when you look at the garden from a distance. It's when we get close that you can see that I really don't. But here we have the Early Dew Melons. Lots of flowers on here. And I think I even saw the potential of a little melon bum in there. But what is it they say? Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. So I'll just leave that at hope. Still waiting to do our first burn on that fire pit, but the time is coming. Found a little fake radiator grill there. Very cute. Starting to see some decent growth in our little potato patch. Probably far too late in the season for those, but still nice to see they're doing alright. In this new kale and cabbage patch we've got here, some of Shocks's peas are starting to come up. It looks like the kale are all settling in, so that's good. The brassica moths have been doing a number on my Brussels sprouts and my kale. Looking like some sort of fancy lace kale, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's not supposed to look that way. The chard are doing alright though. These beets are coming along nicely. Did end up pickling some beets the other day with some leftover brine from a relish that I made. Some nice sized beets there. A couple of rescued peppers down here. Gonna pull this batch of peas now that the ones in the front garden there have started to sprout. It's just looking kind of nasty and gnarly. Looks like I've got all three of those varieties of cucumbers that are sprouting, and there are tons of flowers on all of them, so hopefully we'll be at least able to get some pickling size cukes. Here's what the corn's looking like after that storm. Pretty rough, but apparently that's just normal around here. My quick little fence board build here to give them something to lean up against. Sort of working, kinda, not really. Squash in the spruce garden are going nuts. They're loving this kind of weird weather that we're having. This is all out from the mini pumpkins, and it looks like there are tons of mini pumpkins forming on this thing all over the place. There's one there, one down there, up a little bit we've got one over there. There's quite a few under the canopy of leaves in there, so that's excellent. It's pretty much the same deal with the spaghetti squash here beside it. See if I can find a couple on the camera for you here. It's a nice looking spaghetti squash there. Drop down, you can see another one there. And again, there's a few of them hiding in amongst the taller grass because I can't mow here anymore, right? But they're in there. And then look at that giant squash creeping towards the backyard there. Huge leaves on that. Got a few different pumpkin starts in there. And the Burgess is kind of weaving its way out along the back of the corn. Pumpkin definitely needs more room in future years, but it's doing really, really well in the bunker. Definitely got all four of the varieties of pumpkins that are growing in here. Seem to be doing well. They are looking a little wilty at the moment, but I haven't watered the bunker yet today. They are doing much better without the beans and peas in there though, and the first ear of corn seems to have started on the bunker. Again, don't count any chickens before they're hatched, but that sure looks like the start of an ear of corn to me. Be nice to see a few more of those in amongst all the corn. Be very nice indeed. There's a few other pumpkin types that have started in there. And we've got kind of a yellowy one down there. Don't know what's going on with that one, but I'm hoping it's still okay. So I've noticed a couple of the pumpkin varieties seem to have solid yellow starts, and a couple of them seem to have fairly green starts. So yeah, it's an educational year on growing pumpkins, that's for sure. Harvested that one big cucumber off of here, so now I'm waiting for the next ones to set in. Looks like this might be our candidate there. We'll see how she grows. Cucumber plant beside it's got a couple good starts on it too. And then these tomatoes. Wow, these tomatoes. These all got pushed over pretty bad in that storm too, but I was able to right the cages and rescue most of them. Look at all those green tomatoes. Definitely going to be some fried green tomatoes in my very near future. It's fantastic. Put a few of these into that relish. Pretty good all the way around. Looking forward to getting some color on some of these. This broad ripple plant is just going crazy though, buck wild. Finally got to harvest that first cluster. Again, it went into that garden relish. Nice yellow to those. Really nice color. Very much enjoyed it. Here we got the Cherokee Purple in the back. Fell over in the storm, split, busted open. I'm letting it struggle for life anyway because I just want to see what it'll do. So clearly these need better staking and more space next year. Just like the squash needs more space next year. The corn needs more space next year. But I'm learning, right? I'm learning. This is the first year I've ever had this kind of room to openly, actively garden with. So it's cool. Got to start somewhere. Moving into the rescued pepper patch, I did manage to get 8 out of the Mexican hots transferred over. And then in the middle here where it says the sheep nose pimentos, I've actually got 2 or 3 plants stuffed in each one of those spots. So they're definitely overplanted, but I needed to put them somewhere. And then I think these are the peppers from Peter. I'm thinking that lighter colored one might be a habanero. And then these 4 here are what I was sold as an El Jefe, but the more I look online, that looks like just a random sort of jalapeno variety, and these looked much more like the Sweet Heats. So I'm curious to see what's going to come of all of that. And then back in the original pepper patch, we've gotten some good growth lately. I think that blood meal has been very beneficial. Pulled out some really nice banana peppers the other day, a couple of really nice garden salsas. And it looks like the Fatale that you can't really see because it's hidden behind the other bush has actually started to put on a couple flowers, so I might see some yellow Fatales out of that. Dragonflies just everywhere. Doesn't want to focus on it, but it's there. And over here we've got the red Thai chili that I topped. That thing is doing fantastic. Here's one of my favorite things about the St. Thomas Bane pepper. I'll try and show you, see if the camera wants to pick it up today. But do you notice the stem on this? And can you see the pinstriping effect going on in that stem? That's cool. One in front of it, although much shorter, showing similar signs of the pinstriping there. Hopefully we'll get some peppers out of that. Here's that unnamed unknown pepper from China, aka those darn good peppers that Tracy Holt sent me. Got lots of flowers on here. Hopefully we'll get a few fruit out of this. Be very exciting to find out what those taste like, and for that matter, what they are. And then we've got the eggplant, which, you know, still can't decide if it wants to live or die, but it's looking like it's thinking more about life these days. And the sage, oh, the sage. What a fabulous grower this has been. So there you go, just kind of a quick overview of the gardens. The front yard, the side yard, although both of those terms are really kind of relative concepts, but there you go. Things seem to be growing along really nicely. I'm really excited. And yeah, I'd have to say for my first year gardening in the soil and here out in Manitoba, I'm really thrilled with how well things are going, and I really appreciate all the advice that you guys have given me so far this summer, helping me get these crops up off the ground. So that's excellent, and I really want to say I appreciate all the heartfelt concern after the big storm that came through here and everybody saw my corn, and I was just so down in the mouth, but you know, those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you know that never lasts long. I bounce back up. That's why I'm tumbling bear. I roll a lot. I get up on my feet. I just keep going grr and stuff. Show me your grr face. Arr. I guess that's more of a Popeye grr face. Anyway, on that note, thank you all for sticking around to this point. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week ahead full of pleasant surprises. And I will see you, well, if I see you before next Sunday, we'll call that one of those pleasant surprises. Take care, everybody.